Hello, teaching and learning friends in the school district of Waukesha. The purpose of this voice cast is to give an overview of our key performance indicators. On the screen, you will see the next draft of our key performance indicators as mentioned in the area of teaching and learning. I want to just kind of reorient the audience to say we had a first draft that was made available in October, and the full board did approve all of the KPIs or key performance learning indicators in all areas, teaching and learning, student engagement, human resources, and operations and finance. However, as a board, we have in a executive cabinet, we have committed to looking at a more specific iteration of the key performance indicators and really putting quantifiable percentages to some of the indicators that we have been monitoring over the past 6 or 7 months. So what I'm going to show you now in a presentation format here is just an example of our next steps of key performance indicators that I would like to review for you this evening. There are 8 areas in which we want to continue to monitor and track over time. These are 8 high-level areas that we believe are not just essential for our own internal accountability, but they are essential for our community accountability as well. And so the first 2 areas I'd like to highlight for you talk about our DPI report card. We want to continue to strive for the #1 ranking on the DPI report card when we are put up against our top 10 largest districts in Wisconsin. Waukesha currently sits as the 7th largest district in the state of Wisconsin. And this year we currently went up 1 ranking to 2nd place, as Appleton holds the top spot currently in this category. Just to give you an idea of where the overall scores rank in the top 10 districts, Appleton currently is ranked #1, earning 71.4 on the state report card, and Waukesha currently has a ranking of 70.4 overall, and that is meeting expectations on the school report card. It goes all the way down to Racine as a top 10 school, earning a 53.2. So that's kind of the range. #1 in Appleton at 71.4. We're sitting at 70.4. Appleton's at 71.4. And then 3rd is Madison, 4th is Eau Claire, 5th is Sheboygan, 6th Green Bay, 7 Milwaukee, 8 Janesville, 9 Kenosha, and 10 Racine. So that gives you an idea of our top 10 sized districts and who we are up against in terms of that accountability. I also just wanted to give you an idea because oftentimes people ask what our neighboring districts are achieving and scoring and what that looks like. So just to give you some content of a district that would not necessarily match our demographics, but would border up against us, we have the Elmbrooks as high as an 87.6, and that's one of the top 3 scoring districts in the entire state of Wisconsin. And then we also have Pewaukee, Kettle Moraine, and New Berlin that are chasing that 84 range. So that gives you an idea of where those report card scores lie, and our intention to be a #1 ranked as comparable to demographics in the top 10 urban suburban districts in the state of Wisconsin. The second area talks about wanting 100% of our schools to meet expectations or higher on the DPI report card. So again, we had that we wanted schools meeting expectations. We just added the percentage of we want all schools at 100% in terms of our Wisconsin state accountability system. The next area talks about GPA. We hadn't, prior to this draft, put in front of you a percentage. Again, we had that we wanted students at the high school level to be earning at least a 2.8 grade point average, because we know this associates most closely to college and career readiness indicators. And so we put a 3-year goal of 80% of all high school students achieving at least a 2.8 GPA or higher. Currently, to give you a baseline of where our high schools are in reaching this goal, West High School is at 85% currently, North is at 61% currently, and South is at 50% currently. The fourth area talks about advanced placement, and we want to always increase the number of total students enrolled in AP courses over time. We are a proponent of the academic rigor that AP classes provides for a student, not just in terms of preparing them for college level preparedness, but also the rigor being associated also to career and workplace readiness as well. We talk about having a marker of 80% of all students enrolled earning a B or better in the course. If you look at all 23 courses of AP offerings that we have in Waukesha, we currently are sitting at an average of 76.6% of all of our students earning a B or better in AP courses currently. The next area talks about our forward testing, and in our first draft, we had not just forward testing in general in terms of percent proficiency, but we also had a certain percentage below percentile ranking. So we consolidated that a little bit and just talked directly and most specifically around percent proficient or higher on the forward state test. It's important to remember that this test happens one time per year in a student's career, and it is an online assessment to gauge how well students are doing in relation to the Wisconsin academic standards. I currently have a draft that in ELA we're shooting for 45%, and in math we're shooting for 46%. Just to give you some context, in ELA, the current state percentage proficient is 38.9. Our current school district of Waukesha percent proficient is 39.2. In math, the current state percent proficient is 38.9. Our school district of Waukesha percent proficient is 41.6. In terms of our top 10 sized districts, as mentioned before, we are the highest achieving district in terms of the percent proficient in math. In terms of our neighboring counterparts, our highest achieving percent proficient district is New Berlin at 64%, just to give you some context there. In terms of ELA, we have Eau Claire achieving better than us in ELA at 41.5. And in terms of our neighboring districts, our most comparable is our neighboring New Berlin, and they are achieving at a percent proficient 51.9%. So when I have those 3-year markers of 45% and 46%, it gives you some context to know what our top 10 districts are achieving at what percentage, and it also gives you some context just in the, I guess, low 50s to see what our neighboring counterparts are achieving as well. I know oftentimes we look at these percentages and think like we should see 100%, right? We should see each child in our system 100% proficient or higher on the forward state test. I guess it's just important for people to understand the context in which these percentages are reported. And this highest percentage currently anywhere in our area is 64%. Moving on to the ACT composite. In our first draft, we had that we wanted to be 1 point above the state average on the ACT. And so we've actually upped that goal to a little bit more rigorous to say we want to be competing nationally. It's great to be above the state average in Wisconsin, but we want our kids to be successful in a global society. And so we want to have a composite to be 1 point above the national average. Currently this year, the state average was 20.1. The national average was 21.5. And currently rough estimates have West High School reporting at 21.0, North at 19.6, and South at 17.7. In terms of the last two indicators, meeting or exceeding the state goal for on track to English proficiency and bilingualism, we did not put a percentage there, nor did we put a percentage for academic performance and behavior of students of color using the DPI risk ratio. Those are two areas that we thought could be easily enough just reported out at in terms of baseline measures in both of those areas. The risk ratio, as you had information on last month, identifies the risk of students of color as compared to their white counterparts for academic and behavioral adversity. And so that data is easily looked at and can tangibly be recorded in terms of disproportionality across our system. So as I stop screen sharing here, that is a high-level overview, and we are going to have a discussion around these key performance indicators at our June 7th meeting, but this will give you an idea of the more specific three-year projections that we are outlining. And I look forward to having this discussion at our June 7th meeting as we continue to refine this and look to bring it in August to the full board for action. And then it'll be our job to implement and make transparent this dashboard, again, both for internal accountability and external accountability. Thank you.